Hey, greetings everyone. Lieutenant Colonel Allen West. As promised, we are with S.T. Russell, and Mr. Russell is running against Dallas County Commissioner John Wiley Price. And if there's anything that is happening right now in Dallas County, where I do live, we're very concerned about things that we have seen emanating out of the Dallas County Commission. For instance, just recently, they voted 4-1, and Mr. Wiley Price was in the majority on that vote to allow people to declare that the fear of getting COVID-19 is a disability, and therefore they can file for a mail-in ballot. And we all know why people want mail-in ballots.
Yes, sir.
S.T. Russell, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, absolutely. Give us a little bit about your background. I know that you served 5 years in the United States Air Force. I won't hold that against you being an Army guy, but tell us about your area there and why you're running for this county commission seat.
Well, mainly this area over here is, I believe, is deprived. When you compare it to the other section of Dallas County, it's very deprived. We have low lighting, bad streets. We have mosquitoes infesting because I think mainly because the water's not draining properly when it rains. We just have a lot of problems. We have churches on every corner of the street, but a lot of people don't even go to church. We have a lot of inner problems. Not only because the schools are not necessarily promoting higher education, keeping parents involved in their kids' education, but it's just a lot of dysfunction that we have for a lot of reasons. And I would like to address those reasons and hopefully bring a change and we can do better.
Now, how long have you lived down there in South Dallas County?
Like I said, I'm a native of South Dallas County. I've been here practically all my life, except for the time I was in the Air Force. I graduated from Carter High School. At one time, I lived in Duncanville. I had a house in Duncanville. Now I live here in Oak Cliff over by the Laurel Cemetery. So I've been here all my life.
Now, what have you seen in being there all your life? What are the changes that you have seen, or has anything not changed down there in that commission area, county commission area?
Well, things has not changed that much. I mean, we have a lot of street construction going on. Let me tell it too much at one time. We, instead of opening one side of the street and closing the other side while we do the construction on, for some reason or other, they basically decided to close the whole freeway and work on both sides of the roads at the same time. There is no clarity as far as when they're gonna finish or even start to reopen different sections of the road. So we have a lot of traffic problems, especially in the morning times, people commuting back and forth to work. We have a lot of traffic problems, and we should not get no better anytime soon. And I would like to at least offer, the residents a transparency of the expected due date, the completion date of the the road repairs. We have no idea how long they're going to take. If the contractors are prolonging it for the pay, we have no sense of what's going on, and it's really frustrating. And it's not fair to the citizens not to know when and how long this construction is going to take place. And like I said again, they did all of it at one time instead of doing it part. They did it all at one time. It just wasn't fair.
Now, when you talk about the community and the neighborhood down there in South Dallas, which is where you were running to be the county commissioner, what have you seen as far as economic growth and opportunity? You talked about the education down there. Are we not seeing an investment in the school systems there in that area of Dallas County?
Well, the school investment, I think, is typical of the whole city. But I guess in most cases, the student, I was a sub this semester, I was a substitute teacher this semester. And what I was able to observe is most of the time the teachers are not able to get the parents engaged in the student education. So a lot of times they fall behind because they're not actually engaged in the learning material. But the material that they present is fine, but as far as getting them to absorb it, it's another thing. I think they need the help from their parents to actually be engaged in the material that's being presented to them. But outside that, I think all the students are getting the same amount of education, the whole district.
Now, what about small business growth down there, and how have you seen small businesses been affected by this COVID-19? I call it illegal martial law and house arrest, all of these shutdown orders that are coming from the county judge, Clay Jenkins there. Mostly it has been supported by John Wiley Price, the commissioner that you're running against. But what effects have you seen with small businesses there in your commission seat area?
But most of the small business, especially the hair salons, I feel sorry for them, but I understand the need for the security, especially for, to contain the spread of the virus. And I hope when they do open, at the very least, we will start using masks. Down here, the mask population is not that high. Most they got signs when you go into these small business, please wear your mask, even on the doors you go in. But most people don't wear the mask, and the people that put the signs up is not wearing the mask. But I really believe that the virus is a threat, is truly a threat. And we do need to take precautions, but at the same time, we have to open up the economy. But I'm really concerned, I'm really thinking that the mask is one of the main answers. And until we get people in my community to start actually using the mask, I don't think we're going to see the numbers go down in my district. And one of my cities, one of the 10 cities that's in this district, is very high in the whole Dallas County.
You know, and that's one of the issues that people have been talking about, is that COVID-19 has had an adverse effect in the Black community, in the urban population centers. How do you think that we can do a better job of promoting healthier living and healthier lifestyles, in your county commission area?
Well, as I said earlier, sir, I believe it has a lot to do with the education. I'm not saying any group is obsolete now, but as far as the younger groups coming up, if they keep coming up with the same mentality that the old group have, there's nothing going to change. I believe the best thing for Dallas County as far as going forward is to change it in the younger generation. And the second thing I also brought up too, I would like to have the churches to stand up a little bit more and motivate the parents to do a better job with their kids. And that way, that will grow the education level in the community, and that would bring up the middle class and all up, as well as anything else. I think that education is really the most important part that I think is going to help Southern Dallas County.
Well, you are running against someone that has been in that county commission seat for quite some time, and Commissioner John Wiley Price. Let's talk about what differentiates you from Commissioner Price, because for whatever reason, with the corruption and everything he's gone through, somehow he continues to get reelected. So how do you break that stranglehold that he has down there in that commission seat?
Well, the first thing, I respect Mr. Price. He's been around for a long time, and I remember when he first came on the scene and under what circumstances he came on the scene under. But those times have changed, and things are not so much, black versus white, especially down here. Rarely seeing it in the white people down here. Not disrespecting anything, it's just the population is like 50% Hispanic, 50% blacks. You rarely see any Caucasians down here. But as far as Mr. Price and his legacy, I have no disrespect for Mr. Price. It's just that, like the Bible says, sometimes the salt loses its savor. It's time for fresh ideas. Myself, I just want to re-look at things that he has already looked at and his mind is made up on them. I want to go in and actually look at them again and see, can I see a different perspective in it, and make sure the county grows, make sure we start to modernize. We outdated over here, and Mr. Price has done a great job, during the time he's in office, and we haven't sank. So therefore, but we haven't moved from one destination to another destination, and that's what I really, really would like to do.
So if there was one issue that you can pick that provides a clear difference and delineation and separation between yourself and Commissioner John Wiley Price, what's that one issue that you think gives you an advantage and that you can leverage?
Oh, that one's easy right there, sir. The property value taxes. The value taxes are very, very high. What the problem is, in my opinion, is that the commission allows the property tax rate to be based on a new house. So if a new house is built across the street from me and that house is valued at 150, they decided that my house is also worth 150. But the problem is, I don't have a new roof. I don't have the plumbing. I don't have the new windows. I don't have the new wiring. I don't have any of the new appliances. I don't have the new floor, the new carpet, the new paint job, the new sheetrock. That's the point of the matter is, that's what's killing us over here. And I think the whole county is the way that they're rating the property taxes increase. And that's not fair. And I very much think that would make a big difference between myself and Mr. Price.
How would you differentiate yourself from Commissioner Price on the issue of, security and, law enforcement down there and reducing the amount of crime and drug and gang activity?
Well, again, it still go back to go. It still go back to the citizens. It's up to the citizens to do their part. We like over here in one of the cities. I went to a movie, and the kids. I mean, it had to be like at least 120, 150 kids that's out there roaming the parking lot. The city police departments is doing what they can to rotate around these people, but they can't watch everything. So therefore, some cars get vandalized, some windows get busted out. But I still blame that on the parents having more control over their kids, as well as the sheriff doing more than he does and the police doing more than he does. We actually need help from the citizens. Then that's basically the government need help from the citizens to help up, to step up.
I grew up in the inner city of Atlanta, Georgia. I was born in 1961. And one of the things that I have seen happen in the inner city urban Black communities is the decimation of the family. So how can you use your voice and your campaign, or you running for this commission seat, to talk about the restoration of the strong Black family? Because I think that comes back to one of the key things you're talking about. You talked about the education, parental involvement. You talked about how you see all of these kids out there in the parking lot and doing the things that my mom and dad, would not have wanted me to do. And there was a little bit of fear that they put in my heart, so I wouldn't do it. So how do we restore that strong Black family in these inner city urban communities?
Well, like I said earlier, sir, we have a church on every corner. We have a church on every corner. They are the backbone of the community. In any community, whether it's Southern Dallas County or any other county, Atlanta, Georgia, same thing. I was down there last week for Mother's Day. It still had a nice time. But the point of the matter being, I would do my best to call all the clergymen together, have some kind of meeting with them, and just identify to them what is actually going on and how, hopefully, they can guide their followers to make the necessary change to better the community. But I really believe it really starts with the churches, because they have contact with all of the adults, especially the parents. And if I can put a book in the minister's ears, I hope that would lead them to putting a book in the hearts of the parents of the children that needs the most attention, which is any child. Any child needs parental guidance.
When you look at where you're running, and you're running against someone that has become almost a fixture in Dallas County politics, how do you bring in more external resources? How do you get more people to come down and help support you in unseating someone like a Commissioner John Wiley Price?
Well, I've never really considered considering people to come down and help us fix our problems.
Well, I'm happy to.
I hear this, sir. But where my strength come in is I have a degree in psychology, so I'm trying to use my psychology wits to get into the minds of voters to vote for me. That's my whole thing. If I can get into the mindset of voters that either some gonna be tired of John, he done did the best he could last time for new ideals, and that's what I'm really counting on. As far as having help, I'm campaigning, I'm putting out signs, I'm doing outreach, I'm doing phone texting. I got a lot of stuff going on. I got 3 different types of campaign signs I'm using with my sociology strategy. I think I'll be fine. And on top of it, not disrespect, but some things are considered a waste. It's been a long time since a Republican won any seat in Dallas County. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but I would like to try the strategies that I already have planned before I would ask anybody to, invest in Southern Dallas County, especially when it's such a blue county. I think it might be a waste. So I think I'm just gonna go the way I'm going, and not turning down help, but not asking or expecting help. I think I got a good strategy.
Well, I will tell you that if you need me to get in my Jeep or on my motorcycle and come down there on to South Dallas County, I'm happy to do that. I live up here in Garland, which is the northeast side of Dallas County. But I think it's very important that we lock shields and we work together, and you leverage everyone that you possibly can to come in and help you. And I understand everyone has always said these major cities, even in the state of Texas, are blue, and it's tough to get into those communities. But when you go out and talk to people about their principles and you talk to people about their values, I think that that's how you make the right inroads. So I look forward to you calling upon me and me coming down there and doing whatever I can to help you out in this run, ST.
Okay, thank you, sir. I keep that in mind. Matter of fact, I'm quite sure I use it.
All right, that's what we Army guys do. We come in, we help out the Air Force anywhere we
You
can.
leave no one behind.
We leave no one behind. Hey, I tell you what, how can people connect with you? How can people follow your campaign? What's your website?
My website is strussell.com. That's the website. And on the website, it has my email address. And you can email me. And once I get to know you, then I give you my text number. And then we start texting, and we can really branch out from there. But I always start out just getting the website and get a little insight about me. And that way you can feel comfortable when you do send me an email. You feel as if you know who you're talking to.
Let's give your website out one more time.
strussell.com.
Let me say something in closing this interview. We've got to do better as a Republican Party and coming to your aid. And I think it's an important thing that you need to understand that the Republican Party of Texas was founded by 150 blacks back on July the 4th of 1867. So we have got to reestablish that link, that connection with the black community, our principles and values, with the party that was responsible for the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, the party that enabled the first black members of the United States House of Representatives and also the United States Senate to be a member of their party. As a matter of fact, just this past weekend, the only other black Republican who has ever been a member of Congress, he passed away in 1905 this past weekend. His name was Josiah T. Walls. And the person that came after him was myself. So I think that we got to do a lot better. And I think that you may not want to ask for it, but you shouldn't have to ask for it. We should be able to come down there and support you. And like I said, I will be willing to do that, and you will see me down there, ST.
Okay, thank you, sir.
God bless you, and have a great, great campaign. And like I say, we'll be working hard to unseat John Wiley Price.
Okay, thank you, Colonel Allen.
All right.
Bye-bye.